Today on the channel, we finish up the WWE Mattel Target exclusive Greatest Hits line Series 2 with Tugboat and King Booker.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another WWE Mattel Legends Greatest Hits unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got Tugboat and we got King Booker. But for all your greatest hit Target exclusive needs, Target. But for everything else under the sun, make sure you end up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And these two, part of the Greatest Hits Series 2 here, of course, of the Legends variety over at Target. A lot of frustrations, myself included, tracking down this line. Thankfully, I did. A lot of people still trying to track these down. I think there was a little bit of a mishap there with a lot of stores thinking, hey, we're full with Legends, where these are supposed to go on those end caps that are up in most stores still, but not all of them. These were supposed to go on that end cap instead of the Hulk Hogan's, the Rosie, the Jamals, the Big Bubbas, where those were supposed to go more to the traditional shelf. These were supposed to be on display, but I think cross wires in Target, and I can see it happening between Target and Mattel and what they're trying to do. So I have a feeling, guess what? They've been made. They're somewhere, but they're probably sitting in a lot of back rooms waiting for the other stuff to flow through. So patience, it's a virtue. It's hard in the action figure game, but I do think these will get out a little bit more in the weeks, maybe months to come. We'll see what ends up happening there. But we're going to dive into this, of course. Greatest Hits Legends re-releases is what we got going on here. Tugboat from back in the day, King Booker from back in the day, getting a new lease on life, and we understand it. And just on the Toy News of the Week this week, I talked about reissuing, a new spin on reissuing. You think of albums, and we talked about the Weezer Blue album, getting another deluxe treatment, like the third or fourth time that has been re-released. Now we're seeing this with action figures. It's across the board. Any company, be it a musical company, if it's Capitol Records or it's Mattel, they want every dollar out of our wallets, and if they see a spot to make money, and that means re-releasing an album, a Black Sabbath catalog, or greatest hit figures, they're going to do that. They're going to take their charge. So when you look at it like that, it really does kind of come full circle. And that's why I always say it. I've been saying it for 5 years almost here on this very channel. Enjoy your collection. Just don't count on it for your retirement. Yes, it's nice. Yes, you can get some money back. But to think your original versions of some of these toys were going to pay for everything, they're going to pay your house off, they're going to pay your retirement. Maybe a few, there's a few figures that might do that, but very few will. And if it's a heavy hitter that Mattel could still make, they will re-release it. So just be warned on that. Invest in your 401k, invest in that kind of stuff is probably a better investment strategy. But enough jibber jabber out of me. You didn't come here for financial advice. That's where we go to my dad. My dad's the financial advisor. That's who I go for my advice. But maybe we'll bring him on. Dad, give us a financial class. What you get to tell us? He'll say, invest in starting lineups, especially 1997. That's where you dive in. No, he wouldn't say that at all. I can tell you that much. But let's dive in. Enough jibber jabber, like I said. We're going to start with Tugboat, because why not? Sailors over kings first. You end with a king, you begin with a sailor. That's what you do. Tugboat Thomas in some circles, Fred Ottman in others, and Typhoon and even more, and occasionally a dash of Shockmaster. A guy that's been around the bush a time or two is Tugboat, and it's very funny, Tugboat back in this line, and this line includes the Ultimate Warrior and the Warlord. Warlord, my dad's favorite wrestler, Ultimate Warrior, my favorite wrestler, and my stepmom, she always said Tugboat was her favorite. Oh, Tugboat, she's my favorite, or he's my favorite. I don't know why, I don't know if she was just being goofy or what. But she loved the old Tugger. She would go around the house all the time. Maybe not, but it sounds good. It sounds good. But Tugboat looking good in the package here. Of course, this traditional Greatest Hits packaging we're getting used to right now from the Legends line. Greatest Hits up top, Elite over there, WWE logo, Tugboat down low, Mattel. We got 8-nut Mark Summers for those keeping track at home. Tugboat on the back. There's that cross still I was talking about. We also got IRS in this set as well. You got the tail of the tape, got the blurb. Let's see what it says about our old friend Fred. Uncle Fred to some, like Cody Rhodes maybe. Tugboat to me. Titles World Tag Team Champion, of course, as Typhoon. Toot, toot! When Hulk Hogan needed some backup against the enormous earthquake, the biggest Hulkamaniac of them all, the massive Tugboat, came to his rescue. Like a modern-day Hillbilly Jim, really, is what he was. The powerhouse as strong as the floating mass of steel that's his namesake, Tugboat was ready to kick up the engines inside of the ring. And he was, oh boy, an all-timer Tugboat, lost in the sauce once again like a young ween, as we do know. There he is, very cool background there. He got lost in kind of the shuffle, and I think it was a good move to move him to more Typhoon. I think that worked out. I know Bruce Pritchard on his podcast, if you listen to that, he was talking about they were going to make him Chic Tugboat, which seems very, very strange. I think Slaughter was the right move, if you had to ask me there. 2 heads for Tugboat on this one. I wasn't aware of that. I missed that somewhere. We're looking good in the plastic prison. And that looks like to be more his Typhoon head sculpt there. I don't know how you just don't do the Tugger head sculpt, but we're going to dive in. We're going to find out. We're going to see, dare I say, what all the fuss is about. We're always trying to find fuss, and there's always fuss to be had somewhere. People fussing, like I said, about this greatest hits line. They can't track it down. They can't find it in the stores. I'm fussing right now because I can't get these twist ties off on Tugboat. They're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere here. But I do think these will get out there. I mean, they made the figures. They didn't just make a super, super limited run. There we go. Got him out. See you later. Goodbye, old Tugger coming home here. But there's some fussing going on, and we're going to start the fussing with old Tugboat here, old Tugger. So he does got a fisted hand and a gripping hand, exact opposites out of the package right here. Choose your own hand adventure. Let's dive into the heads on this one. And of course, the one out of the package, he's got the kind of O face going on, the toot face. I feel like if you don't have a Tugboat, you definitely have to display him with this head. There's no way around it. You got the long hair going in the back, the big beard going there. Looking a lot like my father-in-law. All shout out to George. He passed away, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago at this point. But he always looks like Fred Ottman. A little bit thinner than Fred Ottman, but he looks just like Tugboat here, especially in his earlier days. Second head here, more the Typhoon head sculpt. A little bit angry, a little bit thicker in the face as well. I'm interested to know, does this sailor hat, as one of the accessories here, fit on this head? Oh, it does. So it does fit on there. So now, if you're like me, you're a longtime collector, you have the original version of Tugboat, I always say the key is make them feel different, make them look different. Use this head on your Tugboat with the hat. Makes it feel different from the old one. Mix the hands up a little bit. You got a new Tugboat. It's close you're going to get to a new Tugboat there. So I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that other throw in. And I always say, if they're going to re-release these things, that's fine. But give us a little extra pizzazz. Give us new accessories, new head sculpts, new clothing, something like that to make it a little bit different. And we got that with Tugboat here. I'm very thankful for that. He's got his sailor suit going on right here. When are we going to get a Kevin Nash in this outfit from his appearance in the Punisher movie? But looking very stereotypical. We're playing stereotype hits right here for a sailor with that shirt. Then you got the white pants with the red stripe down the middle, or down the side, the old racing stripe here. And a Tugboat's not racing anybody, we know that much. Got the yellow belt, a very thin belt, and that thin belt really putting through its paces right here. You can see it's down to stretch to the end. White shoes down here as well on old Tugboat. Arms all the way around for us here, bicep cut. Double jointed pinless elbows, you know we're here for that. Hands back and forth, side to side. Of course, got the adjustable ab crunch there. Waist articulation looking good. Head removable back, forth, side to side. Got those big Tugboat splits, of course. Legs do go up. Thigh cut. Double jointed pin knees. Yes, there's pins in these knees. And then you get the ankles back, forth, side to side. A little bit of that articulation there. Definitely Tugboat, though. And Tugboat, an old school peg warmer. This was a figure that peg warmed like crazy back in the original Elite line, so it is interesting they come back out with it. But what is old is new again, and that's what we get with Tugboat right here out of the package. But I mentioned the previous version of Tugboat. We got that going on. Definitely okay, it's a different head. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's the Mandela effect. I thought this was the original head on here. It is not. It is more akin to this one here, the Typhoon-looking head. So you're going to make them as different as possible. You're going to leave this head on the figure, make them feel different. And I got to say, heck of an upgrade here. I definitely like this one better. The head sculpt looks better, looks a little bit cleaner. And imagine, when I think of Tugboat, I think of him making this face with his mouth. We don't have that over here. And then, of course, you know me, I'm a sucker for the pinless joints. If only we got half of them pinless. We wish we got the legs. Not in the case right here. But decent enough. Do we need Tugboats in our collection? 2 Tugboats? Not exactly sure on that, but here we are. Here I am today at the table with 2 Tugboats in my Elite collection. Going to try to put one with Hogan, I guess, and one off with the other cavalcade of superstars. I don't know. I'll figure it out in my display case for sure. But kudos to Mattel for giving things a little bit different here. That's what I want to see in the future. So looking good. Now we're going to get anything new with King Booker. King Booker back in the saddle again, like an old Aerosmith, not so much young. Right here, once again, uniform packaging with Tugboat. You see Booker in the background behind his figure as well, peeking over there. King Booker, 8 and up, of course, as we do know. Elite Squad, all that fun stuff. King Booker on the side, Greatest Hits Elite, Greatest Hits Elite King Booker. On the back, cross sell. We unboxed every single one of these. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss any videos. Go back and check them if you missed them. Tail of the tape, blurb. Let's see what it says about our old friend Booker T. Titles, World Heavyweight Champion, WCW Champion. All hail King Booker. Could we get a Charmel figure? I'd be here for a Charmel figure. After defeating Bobby Lashley at King of Ring 2006, Booker T demanded that the entire WWE Universe bow before their king with Queen Charmel before his side. Well, there you go. King Booker claimed the World Heavyweight Championship from Rey Mysterio as the crown jewel of his collection. And Booker T, an all-timer. I remember running home as a kid to watch GWF on ESPN to see, of course, the Harlem Heat back in the day. Kane and Cole, as they were once known. And now we got him as King Booker. Looking good. Once again, a bit of a re-release. We're getting used to him with these. Oh, we got heads falling off. Somebody beheaded the king. What are we doing here? Oh, my gosh. King Booker didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve to be beheaded, but man, here we are. Here we are, and he's got twist ties holding him down. That was part of the problem. You think I would know what has twist ties and what doesn't by now, but, you know, sometimes they just say you're a rookie, and that's where I'm at. I'm a rookie. A rookie from time to time. Let's see if I can get this out now. Come on, King Booker. Oh, my gosh, making a mess all over the place. See you later. Goodbye. Oh, my gosh, twist ties all over the place. Losing heads, losing hands, and maybe lost a heart along the way as well. But we're going to put King Booker back. Actually, I'm going to take that off. Going to put this back on. There we go. All right, let's dive into old King Booker here. We even got a little plastic rubber band going on to hold that scepter close to his heart. You don't want to lose that scepter if you're a king. You might need it to bash somebody over the head with, like that no good Macho Man did back there in the Royal Rumble to the Ultimate Warrior. We'll never forgive the Macho Man for that, of course. But we'll never forget Macho Man got his receipt with his career being taken away by the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7. Never forget, just 1 foot on the chest. That's all it took the Warrior. Sorry about your luck, Macho Man. Sorry about your luck, Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6 as well. Shout out to the Ultimate Warrior. 2 hands out of the package, a splayed out hand and a gripping hand scepter. The exact opposite of what comes on there. You can do some of that kind of stuff if you want to. Got a cape going on like a young Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian cape season, not just for Billy anymore. It is for King Booker. Soft goods would have been nice. That would have been a nice difference between the two. We'll do some comparisons in a little bit here, but it is the plastic cape. You got the white at the top, white on the sides, red down the middle. Straight up King Booker cape is what that one is. Big old scepter for King Booker here, of course. A scepter can also be used as a weapon, and Booker T wasn't against that, of course. Gold down here at the bottom, a nice dome at the top in red. Looking good, all things considered. He even has a king's crown. You got to have that if you're a king. I remember as a little kid playing with my Hasbros, we had King Macho Man, of course. I used that as another kind of title in my figure fed, just like the WWE did. We had King Haku, we had King Hacksaw, King Macho Man, and so forth and so forth. Many kings since then. King Booker, though, one of the more memorable kings over the litany of times. Of course, Harley Race, another one we always remember back to. But when it got to be, you know, King Bret Hart, King Steven Regal, King Sheamus, kind of gets a little bit murky. But we remember some of those original kings, but I say Booker T stood out as one of the more better kings over the years. So we do get that crown there looking nice. Nice little jewels on it as well. And you can use it for other figures if you really needed to. But now we get old Booker T out of the package. One thing that's bad about this Booker is I guess they want you to really display that cape on there because look at his hair getting absolutely wild because it's been matted down on that cape. So I guess a little heat could move that back into position if you need to do that. But it is Booker T. I still say we've got a few Booker T's as of late. We need more. I feel like there's a lot of Booker T's we could still use. Definitely some Stevie Rays as well. So hopefully this is the start of some more Booker T's on a continual basis. I'm here for a Booker T WCW Retro would be cool. Booker T King Booker Superstars would be really nice. Different versions of the Harlem Heat. Different versions of his WCW TV title, world title reigns. Can we get G.I. Joe, G.I. Bro, not G.I. Joe Bro, G.I. Bro, just straight up. I'd be here for a lot of that kind of stuff. We'll see what happens in the future. I wouldn't be shocked to see some of that. But you got Booker T looking crazy. Got those wild eyes going on. You got the hair, the long hair. Got the tattoos on the shoulders, of course, like Booker T would have. Got the wrist tape into the forearm tape there in white. Got the white trunks with the T right there and the king on the back. King Booker looking good. Big old knee pads on him. And you got Booker T down on the front of the shoes down here. I should say boots. Looking very nice in the black and white attack. A good looking Booker T figure. And once again, deja vu. We've been here before, but it is upgraded with the pinless joints, of course. Arms all the way around, bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows. Those are the hits I like to see. Hands back and forth, removable. You do get that, of course, ab crunch. You get the waist. You get those big old King Booker splits. He's ready to do a jump over somebody if he needs to. Legs do go up. Thigh cut. Double jointed. Are we pinned? Are we pinless? What are we doing? Let's get down to the bottom of it here. Looks to be pinless joints on the knees. The hits do continue. Boot cut, ankles back and forth, side to side. Up and down, it is King Booker, and he does fit on a Mattel ringside stand, hopefully. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% at Ringside Collectibles. He does fit on there. And, of course, talked about it. We got more King Bookers of the past. We got the original version right here. Pretty similar outside of the articulation. The head's been updated a little bit on him. Same tights going on, same boots, same knee pads. Pretty much the same kind of thing going on. Would have been nice, just like Tugboat over here, if we could have got a different head. But when I think of King Booker, I've always preferred this one. A little bit more regal, I felt like, with the gold on it. Maybe that's just me, and a more traditional King's crown on here as well. Of course, he did both versions over the years. You like what you like. You don't throw a fit. We know how that goes. But good to get a King Booker back out to the masses. A lot of people missed out on this one back in the day. Good to have this back out to everybody else. Wish there was just a little bit more changes like we did see with Tugboat over here. But it is what it is. But what are your guys' thoughts? You pick up King Booker, you pick up Tugboat, you still on the hunt for these two? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day. And then some. We got even more content for you, of course, over on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for King Booker, I'm Kyle. In Tugboat 2, how can I forget him? I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.